Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Garok here, Casual Gamer Dad, coming at you guys with another Final Fantasy XIV PvP job review video. So like I mentioned in my last one where we reviewed the monk, I've been doing a lot of PvP in Final Fantasy XIV lately, just trying to get to that rank 25 series level so I can get the glam. And that's given me time to really dig into some of the jobs that I still owe PvP reviews to you guys to help kind of refine my opinion on them a bit. So today we're obviously covering the Paladin, the last of the 4 tanks that I do need to review. And I gotta say, Paladin is so I'm a little conflicted with Paladin, obviously. So with Paladin, I like Paladin. I think it feels good. I just feel like they just don't have the damage. I feel like when I'm on Warrior or Dark Knight, and definitely especially Gunbreaker, I feel like I have the potential to do some big bursty damage. But on Paladin, yeah, I feel like not really, especially since like their really big bursty damage combo is tied to the limit break. So in cases like Crystalline Conflict, which is pretty much the main form of PvP you'll farm, is you really only get to use 1, maybe 2 limit breaks if you're lucky in a single CC match. In front lines you'll get to use quite a few, but yeah, other than that though, I mean, Paladin, it feels good. I just feel like they could use a little bit of damage tuning, you know, amp it up just a little bit. But I'll go over that in a minute when I run down their skills. My overall opinion, I would say in front lines, Paladin is a good, they're an 8 out of 10, you know, like I said, like they handle well, they're pretty durable, they got some good control and mobility. They just, I don't really secure kills on a Paladin, but they can definitely change a team fight in front lines for sure with their limit break and even just their ability to reduce damage. And if you get lucky, you get a couple blocks, you know. In Crystalline Conflict, it's a little different. They're still an 8 out of 10 in my opinion, but they your priorities are going to be different. You're not just going to go in, engage, blow all your damage reduction and peel for all your teammates. In Crystalline Conflict, you're going to be mostly just guiding the crystal and then like trying to prevent people from getting to the crystal. So you're still peeling, just in a different way. It's hard for me to explain really, unless like you're in there doing it. But nevertheless, like they're good. They just, like I said, I just can't seem to secure kills. Maybe it's a me problem. But I will say, like, on a Paladin, I do feel relatively unkillable. Most times. There's sometimes when it's just like 5v1 and there's not much you can do about it, but they're good, they're solid. But if you have to choose between like, oh, am I going to play Paladin or should I bring like Warrior or Gunbreaker, I'd definitely bring a Warrior or Gunbreaker instead. That's my own opinion. But Paladin is still good. You can't go wrong with a Paladin. If you prefer the sword and board style, go for it, man. Like, it's still good. It's still very viable in PvP, for sure. But let me elaborate a little bit more on what I'm talking about with their damage, and just give you guys the rundown of their loadout. All right, let's show you the PvP loadout here. So we're gonna open up our PvP profile, and we're gonna go to our actions like always. And I don't know why I run these down every time, but I do. Just like every other job in the game, they have access to all of these abilities here. Sprint makes you run faster. Purify, this is your stun removal. Like I always comment, it's supposed to make it so you're immune to stuns for 5 seconds after you use it. It doesn't work. I've gotten chain stunned after popping Purify more times than I can count, and I don't think it's ever going to get fixed. Guard, immune to CC, damage reduction, 5 seconds. Crappy move speed, but you know, everyone's got it. Recuperate, it's your spammy heal. Standard issue elixir, very long cast, full heal, full MP recharge, blah blah blah. Everybody gets it. Okay. Now let's get into the meat and potatoes here. This is the actual skill loadout. So on the defensive side, Paladin has 2 abilities. We have Holy Sheltron, pretty similar to how it is in PvE. Creates barrier around yourself, absorbs damage. This one is a damage absorbed to the equivalent of 12k potency. It lasts for 5 seconds. If the barrier is not absorbed and the effect duration expires, it just kind of like does like a little burst explosion, and it deals damage with a potency of 2k plus 50% of the barrier's remaining potency. You also get Knight's Resolve, which reduces damage taken by an additional 15% for 10 seconds. And then the additional effect, Heavy plus 75. I'm really not sure what that is. I don't really notice it, to be completely honest with you, but it lasts for 5 seconds. Like, I know what Heavy is in PvP, it just, I don't notice it when I blow it, but hey, that's just me. And then the other one, this ability, I'm not sure how I feel about this ability. I don't use it very often. Now, maybe that's going to set some of you guys off tilt and just be like, really? How can you not use this? What the heck? But Guardian, rush to a target party member's side. Take all damage intended for the targeted party member for 10 seconds. Can only be executed when the member is closer than 10 yams. Cannot be executed while bound, blah, 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 blah. 25-second cooldown. This is basically PvP's version of cover, but with a gap closer. So you can use it to get yourself into combat if you want, or out of combat if you're trying to get out. You can use that for a certain amount of mobility. The only downside is that cover. It can really make things really rough, because if you're kind of doing like a 5 versus 3, 5 versus 2, and you're just trying to save your teammate and like hold off until, you know, the rest of the team arrives, you're gonna end up using all your cooldowns to mitigate the damage that you're soaking up for your teammate. And anyone with half a brain will notice that you've got the tether to your teammate. So what they're gonna do instead is they're gonna turn around after the tether is gone. They're gonna start pounding on you, and all your cooldowns are off. So you're just gonna die. So I very rarely ever use Guardian. Like one time have I ever had it actually work as intended. All the other times I just end up just getting absolutely murdered. I just get butchered, and it's just like, it doesn't matter how many recuperates I hit or use or nothing. I just get murdered. On the slightly defensive, more control side, we have Shield Bash, 15-second cooldown, delivers an attack with a potency of 4,000, and it stuns your target for 3 seconds. This will also give you a stack of Sword Oath, up to a maximum of 3, lasts 10 seconds. I'll go over what Sword Oath does. It kind of just explains it right there, though. When you get a stack of Sword Oath, your Royal Authority combo, which is your 1, 2, 3, changes to Atonement. And I'll go over that in a second here. So now on the full-on combat side, we've got our 1, 2, 3 combo, just like in PvE. We've got Fast Blade, 3k potency, Riot Blade, 4k potency, Royal Authority, 5k potency. None of these have any buffs or anything to them like they would in PvE. PvP is just damage. The last hit, just like with Shield Bash, it's going to grant us a stack of Sword Oath, which changes this combo to Atonement. Okay, and now I'll just get out of the way what Atonement does. Atonement, it's just damage, just like in PvE, kind of. Delivers an attack with a potency of 8k. It's just GCD cooldown, and has an additional effect of restoring one's own HP with a potency of 4k. Okay. So you got some self-heal there. This is where the durability is coming in. You got some self-heals there. And you can stack that up to 3. I usually don't stack them up. I usually just kind of like use them as I get them, and I weave, and I'll show you what I'm talking about when I demo. But, you know, so the third hit here will give you a stack. Shield Bash will give you a stack. And then we have our Gap Closer, Intervene, 10-second cooldown. You can see we get 2 charges. Rushes target, delivers an attack with a potency of 2k, grants a stack of Sword Oath for 10 seconds. Cannot be executed while bound. That's pretty self-explanatory. This is your Gap Closer. Use it, you engage with it. You can even use it more or less at point blank range. Just smack a dude just to get that stack of Sword Oath. and use another atonement if you want. I'll show you what I mean when I demo. And the last ability we have access to just all the time is Confiteor. Deals unaspected damage with a potency of 8k to a target and all enemies nearby it, so it's good for single and AoE. It affects the target with Sacred Claim, which restores HP when successfully landing an attack on targets under this effect with a potency of 2k. So the more you hit that target with after hitting him with Confiteor, the more self-healing you're gonna do. So now you can see where like the tankiness is coming from. Like you pair up Holy Sheltron with atonements and Confiteor, and you're self-healing yourself pretty well. Now all of that is nice, but you can see in just general combat it doesn't really, there's no burst potential, right? The damage is kind of, even just reading those potency values you can tell the damage is kind of right? But you can see we've got 3 other abilities here, but where do they come into play, right? So here's how it works. We have our limit break, which is Phalanx, 10-second cooldown, which doesn't matter because the limit break bar needs to be full. It gives you, the Paladin, Hallowed Ground, and then it gives Phalanx to party members within range around you. Hallowed Ground, we all know what Hallowed Ground is. You're just immune. 10 seconds of just not dying. It says most attacks. I'm not sure what attack considers not included in that. If anyone knows, let me know in the comment section down below, because I haven't seen anything yet. And then Phalanx is just damage reduction by 33% for all party members around you when you pop this thing. Now, you can see there's one more additional effect, which grants Blade of Faith ready. So now you pop your limit break, you now have access to your Rain of Swords abilities, right? So it starts with Blade of Faith, deals damage with a potency of 4k to target and all enemies, so it's single and AoE. Potency is increased when the target is under the effect of Sacred Claim. If they have Sacred Claim, you restore HP when you deal damage to them. And then it combos into Blade of Truth, which is, again, AoE damage of 6k. Potency is increased if they have Sacred Claim on them. And then Blade of Valor, potency of 8k. Same exact thing. It's the same exact thing with Sacred Claim and healing, etc., etc. So you have good burst potential as a Paladin only when you have your limit break. So the idea is, like, you would probably engage, pop your limit break, you're going to Confiteor the kill target, and then you're going to go Blade of Faith, Blade of Truth, Blade of Valor, and just spam atonement for the rest of the time. Now, normally I would say, that's pretty good, that's some good damage. Except, in front lines, it's not a big deal, because you'll get a ton of limit breaks. But in Crystalline Conflict, okay, which is where you're going to spend the majority of your time if you're farming out series experience, you only get 1 limit break, maybe 2. So where there's just about every other job out there has burst potential outside of their limit break, Paladin does not. I feel like that needs to change just a little bit. If they did, I could give Paladin a much higher review. Absolutely. But let's wrap this up real quick. Let me give you guys the demo of all of their abilities. So of course we'll start off 1 2 3 combo, Fast Blade, Riot Blade, Royal Authority. You can see we get a stack of Sword Oath now. We got Atonement, Poke 'em. You can see we got our heal. Here's our Holy Sheltron. I still don't see heavy on me, so I'm wondering what that's all about. Oh, there it is. So the heavy's the effect when it explodes. Okay, so that's my bad. Shield Bash, pretty self-explanatory. 4k damage, stuns them. We get Atonement. Okay. We have Intervene. Bam. See, you can do it point blank. Poke them. Boom. Bam. I can't really demo Guardian because there's no allies nearby. Suppose I could. Yeah, no, won't let me do that. And then of course we have Confiteor. It's got pretty good range on it too, if I'm not mistaken. 25-yard range. Yeah. Bam. And then you can see while they're affected by this, we're getting our health restored. Boom, boom. So it's pretty good. Now, like I was saying about weaving in Sordos, usually how it'll work, right, is like, so say you're going in, you're gonna engage. I'm not gonna like go about like popping defensives or nothing, but you're gonna engage. So you're gonna go in, boom, you get one Sordos. I'm gonna hit him, I'm gonna stun him, I'm gonna hit him again, okay, then I'm gonna weave in that, hit him again, okay, you're gonna riot blade, you're gonna hit him again, boom, you're gonna boom, you're gonna boom, 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 boom. Weaving them in. Instead of stacking them, you just weave them in. Weave them in. So now we have phalanx. Okay, so we're gonna pop this. Boom. And now time for the burst damage, alright? We're gonna go Confiteor, boom, and then we're gonna sword. 1, 2, 3. And then you just poke them. Bam. And there you go. That's Paladin PvP in a nutshell, guys. Not really much else to show you. So as you can see, like, we have the mobility, we have the control, we have the damage reduction and self-healing, but we're missing out on damage because we gotta wait for our limit break. So like I said, 8 out of 10. If they ever disengage the Rain of Swords from Phalanx, there'll probably be a 9 out of 10, or even maybe even a 10 out of 10. You know, especially if they up the damage potential just a smidge. But that's really my only complaint. So yeah, there you go. Paladin PvP, guys. Give it a shot. It's fun. You're not gonna secure too many kills unless you're like kind of sniping them, but you'll hold your own and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. So give it a try. This is just my opinion, as all of these reviews are. And I'm going to close up shop here now. So if you like what you saw today, hit that thumbs up button. If you got any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them in the comment section down below. And if you want to help my channel grow and you want to get notifications every time I post something up new, hit that subscribe button. It'll help me out and make me feel great. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you all in the next video.